It is February 27th, 2022. This is Saerah with the Kelowna Resistance, and I'm here with Danny. Hi, Danny. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm pretty good. So, you live in Ontario here?
I do, yeah. I live just outside of Ottawa.
Okay, and where were you born?
I was born in Saskatchewan, and then just before my 4th birthday, we moved to Northern Alberta, and that's where I grew up until I left home.
Okay, the weather here is pretty extreme sometimes.
Yeah, it can be. I never used to believe that when people would always talk about how the humid cold is different. Being from Northern Alberta and then spending almost 7 years in the Yukon, I thought that people in the South were just kind of sissies. But then when I moved down here, it's true. The humidity gets right into your bones. Yeah.
No, that's a fact.
Yeah.
So, what was your experience in the last 3 to 4 weeks here in the Ottawa area?
It was amazing. I was asked to help volunteer with the helping with volunteer security for the group of people that were hosting the convoy when they arrived in the city. And so that was the majority of what I spent my time with the last 3 weeks. I also did some videos and press conferences speaking to the relationship between the volunteers and the convoy and the police, how we were trying to work together to make sure everything stayed peaceful. I think we shared a lot of the same concerns about potential instigators infiltrating the group to try and cause problems, maybe incite some kind of physical altercation that would then kind of bring discredit to the convoy. And I believe that the police were on board with that. I think they knew that that was the greatest risk as well. And then obviously last weekend it culminated in the massive police action against the convoy, and I myself was arrested as a part of that, but I ended up released without charge.
Okay. And you mentioned that you wore something into jail with you?
Yeah, I made sure that I was wearing my Resistance hooded sweatshirt that day. I knew that there was a possibility that that was going to happen, so underneath that I had worn a t-shirt that my wife had made me. It said, "Where's your line in the sand?" because that was something I had said in previous interviews. And then I had made sure I had the Resistance sweatshirt on underneath.
That's awesome. Did they tell you not to resist at any point?
They didn't have to. I knew the drill. I knew what to expect. So
right.
Yeah, I didn't want to make things any worse for me than they could have been.
So, your overall take from this on a positive note, can we talk a little bit about humanity and people coming together?
Absolutely, yeah. So I mean, I've worked in the Ottawa area for the last 8 years, and I've traditionally been doing the overwatch from up on the rooftops of those great big events, and this was something like you've never seen before. You know, people called us all kinds of names and said that we tried to label us all kinds of things, derogatory things, you know, from our prime minister and our media and even other citizens. And that wasn't the case at all. If you would have just come to see for yourself, you would have seen people of all ages, all backgrounds, and everyone was just so happy to be with people. You know, happy to see each other's face and like hugging and meeting complete strangers for the first time and just hugging and dancing in the streets. Like it was the most united I think I've ever seen the city of Ottawa in my 8 years here. And it was definitely I heard it over and over again, and I felt the same. It was the proudest I've ever been to be a Canadian. I had almost lost hope in our country until that convoy rolled into Ottawa.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Did you get to meet any of the truck drivers personally?
Oh, I did, and they're amazing people. I will forever be in debt to them for what they did for us.
Well, yeah, it was just amazing to watch, you know, the trucks on Wellington, and the amount of support that everybody gave each other was just overwhelming. Lots of tears.
Oh yeah, it was overwhelming. It was overwhelming the first few times I went up there, and it built friendships that will last forever over these last 3 weeks. The people that were working with us as volunteers, and the people involved in the convoy itself, and people that just came out from like I said, every background, every profession. There's people all over this country that have been affected by what has happened here in the last 2 years, especially with the mandates this last like 6 months or so. And it was awesome. I got to meet so many incredible people, and became friends with so many incredible people.
Right, yeah.
Absolutely, like lifelong friends.
Same here.
Definitely.
Well, great. Is there anything else you'd like to add to your story?
It's not over. We have to adjust, but we can't lose. We got no choice.
Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you. This was awesome. Thank you for the great hoodie and the great toque.
Oh, my pleasure.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see you again.
You betcha.